You show my photo to some illiterate camel jockey in the middle of the Sahara, he's gonna turn around and say, Homelander, imperfect American. I'm the Homelander. And I can do whatever the I want. You're not the real heroes. I'm the real hero.
We live in a world where it seems to be cooler to root for the villain than the hero. However, if the villain is perfectly written like Homelander, then you can't really blame us, can you?
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect.
Look, I'm not here to judge morals or take sides, but I do love me a nice flex here and there, so how about I give you 25 of them? Yep, in anticipation of the latest season dropping, today the TV Regent gives to you the top 25 biggest Homelander flexes in the boys. After all, you guys are my real heroes.
You guys are the real heroes. What happens if, I don't know, I do this?
Wow, I didn't think I'd start off this list with such a brutal entry, but here we are. I felt really bad for this new recruit because he's basically in the show for a meta-level joke, then he gets violated by Homelander in the most heartless way imaginable. The kid looked up to the guy and spent all his time training so that he could fit into a diversity quota, but he forgot he was dealing with a Giga Chad level villain.
It's a blind spot, right?
A differently abled member of the Seven.
It's the coldness with which Homelander totally destroys the only superpower this dude has that gave me the chills, and even the comment he passes right after he goes on to show how empathy is clearly missing from the universe's most powerful superhero.
And now you're just another useless blind guy.
I mean, Lex Luthor would look like an angel compared to this guy, but yeah, you can see how Homelander makes sure his agendas are met when he tells Ashley there's no way he's going to let a cripple into the Seven. Also, I know this is a mean one, but I do have to say it. Why on earth did Ashley get a blind guy to replace Translucent? In what world is it a good idea to replace a guy who can't be seen with a guy who can't see? Come on, Ashley. They're not paying you a salary for such silly ideas now, are they?
What made you think I would ever allow a cripple into the Seven? For sakes, Ashley, don't look at him, look at me.
You're just a cheap knockoff. Oh, no. I'm the upgrade.
Okay, listen, we know that Soldier Boy is a certified badass, okay? I mean, this is freaking Dean Winchester for crying out loud. However, if you're going to make the mistake of calling Homelander a cheap knockoff, then you better be ready to face the heat. The flex here was the self-declaration of being the upgrade, and the fight that followed pretty much proved it, you know? For one, Homelander can fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes, so Soldier Boy was made to eat his words right after. Technically, this is a son bossing his dad around and proving that he's indeed a much better version of him. Not sure if this is something to be proud of, especially if you consider those disturbing mommy issues of his as well. Of course, I won't be talking about the battle that happens right after because that's a 3v1 that doesn't go homie's way. However, what I will say is that Anthony Starr's performance here totally sells the menacing persona that Homelander has established as an evil superhero. Well, technically speaking, he should be winning awards left, right and centre for this performance, but hey, it's the public opinion that counts the most, doesn't it?
You were my hero growing up. I watched all your movies hundreds of times. You were the only one that was nearly as strong as me.
I don't think I want to.
You don't want to? Why don't you show a little follow-through, Chelsea? Jump.
Please, I just want to get
I'm not
down.
suggesting anymore. Jump.
Wow, we're really kicking things off on a savage note, aren't we? Chelsea was just going through some stuff and needed a little guidance, but Homelander had to spoil her party and make her follow through, all because his Nazi girlfriend offed herself. It's pretty messed up if you consider the fact that Chelsea is Jewish, but the flex here happens when she changes her mind about jumping all by herself. By now, Homelander has had enough with the life he's been forced to live, and he's not going to spare anyone of his wrath, so he makes sure she jumps off the building one way or another.
Huh?
Naturally, the poor girl remembers God during her difficult time, but Homelander tells her that he's the only man in the sky, which technically makes him the only god on the planet. Well, I understand the logic, but I can't really say I agree, you know.
No God. The only man in the sky is me.
Either way, it was the first unraveling of Homelander as an outspoken villain who had enough of wearing the mask. So yes, this is a top tier scene, even though it has a really messed up narrative. And as usual, it's Ashley yet again who has to deal with the cover-up job. Yeah, she really is the perfect example of a corporate slave, if you ask me.
You give and you give, you give your whole life And what happens? People just tear you down.
What kind of animal are you?
Okay, I know I've mentioned the boys, but Gen V also falls under the same universe, so it's technically allowed for me to consider Homelander's appearance here as its canon. Of course, the most prominent moment is his appearance in itself, because to be honest with you, Gen V was not it for me. Anyway, Marie Moreau pretty much poops her pants when she sees the big daddy of her franchise showing up with all the calmness and composure anyone could muster in such a situation. He looks simply around at all the bloodshed and chaos in front of him, after which he asks her if she's an animal who likes to attack her own kind. It's a rather stoic display that reminds us why a character such as Homelander should be feared for all intents and purposes. It was a nice little touch to end it with a laser beam attack on Marie, but it would have probably been a lot more impactful if it actually ended up decimating Marie like it should have. Plot armor really is the best possible weapon when you have a woke agenda, isn't it? But that doesn't take anything away from the sheer dominance Homelander is able to exhibit while doing the bare minimum.
Do you like attacking your own kind?
No,
Stay back!
Yeah, I'm not kidding, man. Let's just say that Maeve can bend a steel pipe without using her hands.
You know, I gotta give it to Homie. He knows he's the most powerful soup in the world, so he doesn't really need to worry about anyone challenging him. But what he does like to do is intimidate people, so he decides to joke around with Huey by telling him how Maeve is able to bend steel pipes without using her hands. Now, how a woman is able to do that is not something I want to discuss here, but I'm pretty sure you can figure out what the angle is. Whether Maeve likes being spoken about in such a manner isn't even relevant because, as we all know, Homelander can say whatever he wants without having to worry about the consequences. Sure, Huey and Starlight both try to flex their titanium balls by standing up to Homelander, but he's only amused to see this. This could mean that he was pleasantly surprised to see the courage in this couple, but it could also mean that he's laughing at their delusion. The point remains that if Homelander were to come up and talk trash to your girl while also flexing his own girl, there really isn't much you can do apart from acting tough or maybe consuming an illegal chemical substance that gives you temporary superpowers.
What's she like? She good?
We go back to the teenage kicks days. We still keep in touch.
Oh, golly gee shucks. What makes you think I would give two about that? Now, do you have something for me or not?
Man, I don't know how to feel about Mesmerizer. The dude ratted out Billy Butcher and his gang for nothing and eventually had to pay for it with his life. Not that Homelander cares about such things though, as can be seen in the way he hilariously insults Mesmerizer and tells him to get down to business as soon as possible. He even starts their conversation by saying he doesn't know the guy, neither does he want to know him. Also, that golly gee shucks line isn't only hilarious, he was also able to make it rhyme. Maybe he could help Drake's ghostwriters the next time he decides to beef with someone way out of his league. Anyway, this scene also provides us with the perfect character breakdown for Homelander. Even when he's not busy torturing people or doing evil stuff, he simply doesn't care for anyone who isn't him. The level of disrespect and disregard he shows Mesmerizer even after getting valuable intel is the best indicator of the same. It totally gives off elitist vibes, but what you gonna do about it? This man can't be stopped, and he doesn't mind using people to serve his purpose. No wonder Stormfront liked him so much.
Oh, I would never try and read you.
Let's be clear. I don't know you, and I don't want to.
I don't need you!
Okay, let me just start by saying this was one of the weirdest scenes to ever come out of The Boys, and that's a huge honour in itself considering the fact that this is the same show which brought the Ant-Man exploding inside Thanos' butt beam to life. Anyway, Homelander comes home to play make-believe with Madeline's doppelganger. That in itself is pretty weird, but then Homie flexes by saying that he doesn't need anyone but himself. Now, I don't know how I would react with a ticking time bomb of a superhero in front of me, but turning into his own doppelganger and getting romantic is probably never going to cross my mind. I don't even want to discuss what happens in this apparent seduction, because this will then turn from a flexes video to a trauma video. Luckily, Homie came to his senses and realised that he had to call no homo before I called my therapist. I gotta say, the thematic layering of this scene kinda established him as the ultimate Sigma male. Also, it's kinda funny to say that a man figuratively killing himself is the sanest thing in this universe, but it's the truth. Maybe the man took inspiration from all those weekend music videos and wanted to see how it felt.
It's not even gay if it's with yourself, right? What did you say to me?
I'm sorry. Shit. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it.
Say it. Say it!
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Homelander may have a passion for fitness, but the man really takes it to a whole other level with A-Train. First of all, this guy isn't even on the same level as a Flash or even a Quicksilver, so keeping such high expectations for him was only going to set Homie up for disappointment. Either way, he makes sure to make fun of his weight when he sees him slurping those milkshakes down. I was personally a bit surprised when A-Train revealed he needed 30,000 calories a day, but Homelander's immediate response kind of nullified that statement.
You know, I need 30,000 calories a day.
Maybe when you actually ran, you did. But now you're just eating your feelings, making us look ridiculous.
Of course, the real flex comes in a bit later when he overhears A-Train's insult and switches to demon mode. I swear, looking at an angry Homelander would make anyone piss their pants, and seeing A-Train dropping that shake was something of a metaphor for that in my opinion. Homie was ready to blast him down with those laser eyes in the Vault headquarters itself, which is a different level of savagery if you ask me. Could you even imagine how deadly it would have been to see A-Train's guts splattered all over the wall? It would have brought an unpleasant callback to when he smashed through Huey's girlfriend in the very first season.
Did I do something wrong?
You think I haven't seen you? Shoving back 24 cupcakes in the break room? 9 servings of Miro's truffle risotto night? What I will tell you is, she was a hell of a lay. She came 3 times, eh? 3 times.
Flexing for superheroes, or in Homelander's case, supervillains, is mostly limited to their powers or their sassy lines. However, Homie pulls the ultimate flex on Billy Butcher when he reveals that he wasn't the one to assault his wife, but rather the other way around. Man, that's really got a sting, and the fact that the boys never really addressed this claim in its entirety kinda indicates that Homelander may not have been lying. On top of that, he also mentions the number of times Becca attains euphoria, which is pretty impressive if you ignore the fact that he claps another dude's wife. Who knows, if Homelander wasn't a superhero, maybe he could have just easily have become a star in the world of adult entertainment. Man, I'm sure Butcher must have had a lot of things going on in his head at this point in time, but one of them must have surely been about his own bedroom skills. There's also Homelander's kid in his arms whilst he's saying all of this, so it's pretty dark and savage overall with the tone. It was a complete defeat for Butcher, and also left a lot of fans wondering if this guy could really be beaten.
Okay, let's cut the shit, huh? You know that we, Bro, it's not my fault, okay? She came on to me. It happens,
Will you stop?
know?
He's my friend. I can't eat him. I'm not gonna eat him.
Oh, yes, you can. Deep. Timothy is f***ing delicious.
Homelander's such a great guy, you know. He upped his buddy deep back into the 7 and also helped him overcome his fear of seafood. But no, in all seriousness, this scene was straight up evil. Having everyone eat seafood around Deep to make him uncomfortable around them, only to end up eating his best friend Timothy right after, was the most vicious thing ever done to him.
I'm so hungry.
Homelander's completely neutral look during this whole sequence was what sold the scene to me, and the fact that even Cassandra told Deep to just eat the octopus was indicative of the chokehold Homie has on him. Nobody can stop him for sure, but maybe he should have spared poor Timothy in the process. Man, this is some Hitler-level brutality on display, isn't it? Homie really misses Stormfront, doesn't he? Having said that, you want to know what the most iconic part of this scene is? The Deep has to put something in his mouth, which he doesn't want to do in order to enter the 7. This is pretty much what he did to Starlight in the very first episode of The Boys. Karma always strikes, but I clearly didn't expect it to include octopus ink.
Wasn't that delicious? You are dark, and I kind of like it.
I think we can safely say that Homelander doesn't have much of the quality of kindness in him. He's brutal, savage, emotionless, apathetic, and powerful enough not to worry about any of those character traits. This is why his encounter with Billy Butcher in the OG season finale is so impactful. Butcher used Madeline and his kid to draw him out, which may be a genius plan, but it's also kind of dark, isn't it? This is exactly why he gains favour in Homelander's book, because he can relate to him. You see, Butcher and Homelander do have marked differences, but their core personalities are a lot more similar than you think. Butcher has the boys to keep his intrusive thoughts in check, but you can't say the same about Homelander. Nobody can control or appeal to him that way, which is why he turns out to be an outright villain, whereas Butcher is only an anti-hero at best. The reason Homelander likes his dark nature is because he sees a sense of understanding with Butcher, so it almost feels condescending when he gives him this compliment. It's almost as if he's saying, okay, I'm the darkest man in the history of time, but you've got some quality in you, so I'm going to spare your life.
Now's not the time to be strong and silent. Go for it.
Happy birthday, Homelander.
Thank you.
I can see you girded, you disgusting fat. Get off stage.
Oh man, you gotta feel sorry for A-Train, even though we see him commit multiple murders throughout The Boys. The best part about this scene is how random it is for Homelander to brutally roast him while a live audience is right there. Of course, this isn't said on the mic or anything like that, but still, to call him fat and make fun of his girdle while casually hugging him was so unnecessary and hilarious. Of course, it's not like A-Train can make sense out of it because 1. He can't create any controversy on live television, and 2. He'd be smashed to smithereens by Homelander if he were to protest. We've already seen what happens even if he whispers something out loud, so yeah, the man had no other choice but to take the insult and carry on. Homelander is such a lovable character despite his horrific tendencies because of how he carries himself and is able to essentially live out multiple personas at the same time. This is once again why I feel Anthony Starr should be given his flowers. Can you believe this guy is from New Zealand? I thought people from there were the polite versions of Australians.
He's a human. He's just like the rest of us. We all make mistakes, right?
Because that's all I'm good for, huh? Smile, look pretty, say my lines. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Remember when Sydney Sweeney said that she didn't care about Madame Web because she was just hired to play a role? In most cases, actors play these roles in big budget movies to get paid and don't really mess around with the specifics of the script and things like that. However, Homelander is a lot more than just a puppet and he knows exactly what he's capable of, which is why this exchange with Madeline is such an intense moment. He knows exactly what's going on with him and makes it known to her that he's not just here to say some lines and smile for pictures. He's ready to take on a bigger role and can pull off anything that's needed for him if given the chance. If only Madeline humoured him properly over here, we wouldn't have to see him spiral out of control. But then again, we also wouldn't have got so many other unforgettable scenes.
I'm the one who's out there, not them. I'm the one who knows the audience.
I'm trying to make over here is that it's almost as if the man has foreshadowed what's going to happen later. You can see that he's had enough of playing along to the script, and from the finale of season 3, it's this very point that comes to light once again.
You just need to let me protect you.
Oh, you're going to protect me? Mm-hmm. Well, hug your kids, right? Because you never know what might happen.
So true.
Well, we're getting back-to-back entries from the same episode, which is pretty rare for the TV region, but that's just how good Homelander is as a character.
Oh, really?
Here we see him flexing on society more than anything else because it's a reflection on how he himself was brought up as a child. When he says to hug your kids because you never know what may happen, he's basically referring to the bad outcome as himself. He knows he was brought up by an absolute monster and never really had any kind of strong parental figures to look up to. That's pretty dangerous if the kid in question is supposed to be the most powerful person on the planet. Anyway, Homelander's line here shows that he's aware of his own situation, and it might suck for him, but he doesn't care and will continue to live like the evil villain he was always meant to be. This also shows that he isn't some dumb dude with a hissy fit. He's actually aware of his own shortcomings, and yeah, he does take it out on society rather than trying to deal with it in a healthy way. But tell me something, if you're as strong and as popular as him, then would you have done it differently? This is what happens when your villain is the main character of the whole show.
Personally, I think it's amazing that a woman your age can have a baby, period. Starlight, sticks and stones won't break my bones, but words.
No, sir.
Homelander's love for poetry comes to the fore once again as we see him reciting a popular kids' rhyme, but with very adult connotations. It's when he has a meeting with the other members of the Seven to discuss Huey, and as expected, Starlight is the first one to raise an issue. Of course, she shouldn't be talking when the boss is trying to say something, so he makes it known to her in a rather innocuous manner, but with severe undertones.
We shine with the golden light of Providence, but you've been helping these mud people to go against us.
Starlight gets the message almost instantly and even apologizes for it because she knows damn well she can't really risk anything with the leader of the Seven. This is also a nice way to tap into his self-awareness, as I explained in the previous entry, because he does mention how words can affect his mental state. I also like the whole twist on the rhyme because it's super true when it comes to a man who's so tough physically that nothing can hurt him, but is also so vulnerable mentally that simple words can have a scathing effect on him. Also, how is this dude able to smile through everything? He should be the 10th dentist recommending toothpaste instead of that grumpy dude that they keep mentioning in those annoying commercials.
Got him in to see Ezekiel, and got rid of the deep.
Whoa.
Keep those hands down by your sides, Missy. The only reason you're here and not doing corporate PR for Diva Cups is that I brought you here. You are dispensable, which means you answer to me.
Okay.
Remember the first entry on this list where Homelander turns a blind guy deaf? Yeah, well, there was one more aspect to that scene that really stood out, but I felt it deserved a separate entry for itself, which is why I kept it hidden until the top 10.
Wow! The land of make-believe!
After he violates the disabled hero quota, Homelander totally owns Ashley by telling her that she is essentially his slave. It is mean, but from the careful deconstruction he proceeds to narrate, we can safely say that Homie was speaking facts. He knows Ashley is dispensable, which means her one and only god in the company is Homelander himself. She has to be in his favor at all times, otherwise it's going to be the end for her, and he makes it known in the clearest way possible.
Tell me everything that goes on the 99th floor, and I mean everything. Every call, email, group chat, if a light bulb goes out.
Man, I know we've all got tough jobs, but you got to feel for Ashley. I mean, she ends up going bald by the end of season 2, which is very telling of the effect Homelander has on her. Imagine being so badass that you can turn a woman bald. This man really can do anything he wants.
In no way do you decide who goes in the 7. I decide.
You psycho!
Stop it! You know how that ends.
Remember when I said I felt bad for A-Train? Yeah, scratch that. He's easily competing with the D for the most pathetic character of the whole show. Now, you'd forgive Alex for not knowing exactly how dangerous Homelander can be. He's literally just joined the team. However, Starlight should have probably been a bit more careful before letting him in on her conspiracy plan to take down Homie. As expected, he messes it up almost instantly by telling A-Train about it, and the result of it is, well, a bloody mess.
I'm gonna break it down one more time, and I'm gonna make it crystal clear so that even you can understand it, okay?
The flexing on display from Homelander is taken up a notch in this scene as he carries Starlight to the scene of the crime and shows her how he messed up Alex. The best part is when she thinks she can actually fight him, and he casually brushes it off by telling her she should know how such a fight would end. Like, damn, I know he's evil and stuff, but I wish I had that kind of confidence in myself. What follows is a lesson on loyalty and the consequences of betrayal, and honestly, this was pretty much the modern equivalent of a gangster from the Godfather era issuing a threat.
From here on out, there is only my dutiful, loving, main squeeze Starlight.
Oh man, this one may have sounded a bit lame, but it shows once again how unbothered Homelander is by his own actions. Sure, he takes down a super terrorist, but he also ends up taking the life of an innocent bystander in the process. This once again showcases how he's able to control the intensity of his laser eyes, which is pretty cool if you ask me. However, the punchline comes when Ashley shows him the viral video of the fight, which also captures the death of the innocent man. Normally, you'd feel bad about an accidental kill, but Homie can only point out the fact that the people who are starving in this area also happen to have access to a cell phone.
So what, they're all starving, but one of them's got a cell phone?
Now that's obviously not a joke that Gen Z snowflakes would appreciate, but it's a lot deeper than that because of how genuinely unconcerned he is by the consequences of his actions. He only starts to worry when he's told about his popularity levels dropping, and that in itself makes him a strong candidate for the political elections over Trump and Biden. Also, I just want to mention how badass it was for him to easily take down a super terrorist with just one shot. Bro even mocked him before delivering the finisher.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't have to clear with you, Ashley. I saw a chance for an easy win and I took it.
Stay back! You stay the back, or I'll laser you, goddammit! I'll laser every one of you! Stay back!
If there was ever a moment that said, oops, I messed up, it's this one. The fact that Homelander doesn't even bother to correct his mistake is even more telling of how concerned he is with his image. Sure, he ends up saving everyone by getting rid of the terrorists, but he also messes up the cockpit in the process, thus setting the plane out on a collision course. At this time, we're all shocked to see that he was going to abandon these people, and he even forced Maeve to do it.
Take these two!
No, no!
Just these two!
No, what? So they could tell the world that we left the rest of them to die?
Come on!
No!
So people's survival instincts kicked in. That's when Homie threatened to laser all of them in an instant, which is most definitely an evil threat, but also a flex. Look, I know some of these entries are really dark, but I'm covering one of the most unforgiving supervillains of all time. You're not going to find any gardens of flowers here.
Let's go.
No, Maeve, no! Please stay!
I'm sorry.
You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am because you need me. You need me to save you.
Homelander may be the villain, but he's also the only hero the world can rely on, as he points out here in this incredibly hateful yet honest speech. Say what you will about him, and please know that I do consider him to be a horrible person, but there's no denying the fact that the people do need him to save their lives.
I am done apologizing. I am done being persecuted for my strength.
He's basically a god who acts like a jerk, so it's not a lot different from normal life. I like how he maintains his stance and doesn't care about anyone's opinions here. And of course, Anthony Starr kills it yet again with this amazing speech. Homie definitely woke up and chose violence for this one.
You're not the real heroes. I'm the real hero.
Look at me. We gotta cut that part of you out like a cancer.
We all know that Homelander is the way he is because of an extremely troubled childhood, and the only person he could really trust all the way was himself. This is shown perfectly in the pep talk he gives himself, and even though he's shown as a vulnerable man here, we do get to see his evil alter ego forcing him to cut out the part that makes him human. It's a messed up session, and it ends up with his intrusive thoughts taking over his mind like it always does. It also shows us how independent he really is despite all the trauma he's had to face. It's almost as if we're watching what goes wrong when a Sigma male ODs on the Sigma.
Pants on fire, you know. It's because deep down there's a part of you that is still human. No. Part of you is.
Is your idiot brain getting f***ed by stupid?
Spare a thought for Ashley. There's no winning for her at all. Even when she tries to come up with a suggestion, Homelander just shuts it down with a premium insult. The most humiliating one has got to be when he asked her if her idiot brain is getting clapped by stupid. It's a top tier insult which I honestly don't even know how to respond to, and the fact that he adds that it's not rhetorical only ups his game roast. There's a lot of menace in his presence, and his dismissive tone really nails it for me. I've got this insult saved on speed dial, you know.
It's not rhetorical. Answer me.
No. My idiot brain is not getting f***ed by stupids.
I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
Okay, so technically this is a part of the earlier entry I covered, but I wanted to give a separate shout out to the way Homelander tells the people in front of him that he's stronger, smarter, and most importantly, better than all of them. Like, he doesn't flinch when he says it and even doubles down after realizing that he indeed is the supreme being on Earth.
I'm not some weak-kneed crybaby that goes around apologizing all the time.
Homie's conviction is through the roof, and I also liked how he immediately negated Starlight's save in the beginning, where she spoke about him pledging $10 million.
Homelander has agreed to donate $10 million.
No.
I mean, come on.
No.
Give it up. For
No.
Bro had enough and wasn't even going to let others walk all over him. This would have actually been inspirational if he wasn't a cold-blooded murderer.
You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am because you need me.
Man, people really should know better than to mess with a kid of a soup who can literally end the world. That stupid protester really messed up my attacking Ryan like that, so even though it was a shocker for Homie to blast his head open in front of a live audience, I wouldn't say I didn't expect it. What I definitely didn't expect was to see everyone cheering for him right after, which eventually led to one of the most popular memes going around today. Yeah, this man can openly murder anyone and have people clap for him with passion. That's as good as flex as any other dude out there.
All right. Let's light this candle, huh? I mean, sure, I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to lose.
The only scarier thing than a man with superpowers is a man who has nothing to lose, who also has superpowers. Homelander makes that crystal clear to Starlight when she threatens to release the Flight 37 tape. Homie wasn't going to let the blackmail get to him, so he painted a crystal clear image of what he'd do if she were to ruin his public image. It's a terrifying scene and showcases Homelander's brutality at its finest.
First, I'll take out the nerve centers. The White House, the Pentagon. Then any domestic defense capabilities, and then critical infrastructure.
This man literally took away the only leverage Starlight had against him, and that too with a threat. It actually makes you wonder what the man is actually capable of, and he tops it off with his trademark line. This is something he said quite a few times, and the main reason it works is because it's true. In his own words, he prefers to be loved, but he's also fine with being feared. So it doesn't really matter what angle you come at him, he'll still reign supreme and can still do whatever the heck he wants.
I am the Homelander. And I really can do whatever I want.
Hope you liked this video. Please subscribe to the TV Regent, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.